Hey, what's up, guys? Midwestern RC, and today I brought my Capra, my quote-unquote 18th scale Capra, to the indoor rock crawler course. This is a 10th scale rock crawler course, and I wanted to see how well it did. I know it's more of a 14th scale, 13th scale, but it did really good, and I was very impressed. Even this line right here, pretty difficult, and the only thing that I have done to the Capra is I removed the spring perches on all four shocks, so it sits much lower. So right here, if I had not done that modification, the truck would have easily tipped over. I knew I could kind of wheel around it right here, just like that, make it over this obstacle. This next part, as you can see the four branches, it's kind of tricky just with the small width tire to get all four up on there. I tried as hard as I could. I do plan on getting some better tires for this, but see as it binds up right here, I do end up just taking it out, as anytime my rigs are in a bind, I'd rather just move them out just like that and avoid a break so that I can still enjoy using the car and then of course still film. For those wondering, I'm in Schaumburg, Illinois. I'm at the hobby town, Schaumburg. It's about 25 minutes west of Chicago off Gulf Road. It's an amazing place, amazing staff, super fun course too. This bridge right here, even for 10 scale, is very difficult. I know it doesn't seem like it. I struggle right here. The truck does end up falling off. I tried saving it, but I knew I couldn't, so just put a little more forward right here. This is a very tricky incline, and I made it right there. This was a really good feeling, as even with my 10 scale cars, that can be a really tricky obstacle. Now right here, there was so much gap in between that it was just not enough for the 3.8 inch tire. So as you can see right there, not going to risk anything. So I just put it on again and picked the right line and barely made it up. Generally, I try to not reverse as much as I can, as that is not allowed in competition and you'll get points against you. I feel like descending is something that's often overlooked with crawling. This thing is very well balanced and it descends very well. Right here, I kind of have an ope moment, an almost ope moment, I guess. It's a Midwestern thing. That may have been different if I had the brass portal weights up front. I might have had just throttle it out a little bit. Right here, you can really see how well it articulates. Kind of wiggle that servo around that obstacle, make sure it doesn't tip. Right here, you can kind of see how smooth the ESC isn't. It's a little jumpy, twitchy, you know. Now right here, this obstacle, this is an obstacle. It's actually a teeter-totter, believe it or not. But this thing is so light and it's meant for 10 scales that I had to actually give it a little bit of assistance right here. And then I kind of flip the truck over. Well, the teeter-totter does at least. Now going up here, you know, looking at the wood, you know, you kind of analyze each surface you're going on with crawling. I think everybody that's into crawling knows that. The wood, it's slick, you know, it's not much traction. So I'm trying to bump up and bump my way over things. You can get the tires to hang and bite on the edges of the wood, but once your tread is actually on it, it's hard to keep it moving. So I'm trying to just momentum bump it up, bump it up. I did get stuck right there. I didn't want to break anything, so just went up and grabbed it, realigned it. I had some friends break CBDs, unfortunately. Servos. What else have I seen? Not anything else crazy with these cars yet. Now this incline, awesome obstacle, by the way, very well done. Look at how steep it is. So much fun. I do try to reposition myself. just so we can get a better angle of, you can see how intense it is. I have a lot of 10 scale cars that actually could never make it up this thing. My TRX4 Bronco, my Gen 8. But this thing, stock, just with the spring purchase removed again, so the center of gravity is lower. Right there. Super plush. Look at how high up that is. Literally in the rafters. One of my favorite obstacles. Right down here, I call it the slide. Going up it is almost impossible. Going down it, you got to really like get the nose over and throttle it out, or that happens. Almost lost it. I had a Wraith once, and I crashed it off there and snapped the front bumper off. So right here, I'm like, all right, let's see if I can make it up it. I would have been shocked. I would have been absolutely shocked if it would have made it up this. Try to get it a better angle just for the video. And this thing, unfortunately, just couldn't do it. I do think with a little bit of lower center of gravity, overdrive, brass portals up front, different tires, maybe it could do it. Maybe not. Might need a longer wheelbase. I don't know. The only car I've ever had that's done this is my Axial Capra, my 10th scale, not my mystery scale. Look at that catch. It's a really fun course. You know, there's a lot of technical lines. And then there's just a lot of fun things to do, like driving through here. A lot of my 10 scale cars, most of them are so wide that you can barely even fit the tires through. This is their little SCX 24 course that they're working on. It's pretty legit. I have a rock garden in my backyard. I have my own indoor crawler course at my house, so that's tuned to my driving and skill level per se. Now this next obstacle towards the left, that little mound, it's a pretty steep angle, and there's a lot of just junk. I don't know if that's like the right word for it. It's pretty hard to make it up this, even with a 10 scale. And I kind of struggle with the 14th scale, 18th scale Capra, and then I just find the right line and get right on up there. I do feel as if a little bit of a tighter drag brake could definitely benefit from this car. Pretty steep decline right here. Kind of check for the, let's call it a runway, you know, because the back end is going to lift for sure, and I'm aware of that. So when in doubt, you just throttle it out right there. Doesn't seem as intense as it was, but if you over throttle it, you're going to lose control. If you under throttle it, that back end is just going to flip, the car is going to roll. Little slippery obstacle right here. Doesn't seem too intense, but the painted wood, it's just a slippery surface. So you kind of got to bump it up, cross your fingers a little bit. If it was up to me, I would have hit it with some textured spray paint just to give it more grip. You can see I kind of lose it right there. Little hair-raising moment where I'm like, yep, let's wiggle that over there. And we cleared that obstacle. Loved watching this thing articulate too. This decline right here, just two things. I wish the tires were a little grippier, and I wish that the drag brake was 100%. As you can see, I'm wiggling the tires. I'm kind of trying to let the servo work the truck down. This rock-filled slide right here, though, pretty rough obstacle. A lot of my 10 scale trucks can't even make it up this. My Phoenix couldn't make it up this. My TRX4 Bronco, forgot, I think it could. My 10 scale Capra, that can do a lot. But for a 18 scale or mystery scale or whatever, for the size of this Capra, very impressed. Also with the rock lights, I wasn't a huge fan, but surprisingly, after doing this video, I'm starting to notice that they were able to light up areas where I was like, oh, I can get some extra grip there, or I should avoid that spot because the lights were, you know, right on it. Do get hung up right here, pulled the truck up just to make sure I didn't break anything. And then this is where I get up as high as I could until I realized I couldn't make it any further. It's kind of a weird angle right there at the end. I was trying to get the truck to be on all fours on the slide and then just try to bump it up and over. I don't think it would have happened, but I ended up just falling over this slide and having to grab the truck out anyways. Oh. This incline right here, pretty hefty. A lot of grooves, a lot of bumps and everything. As you can see, it gets worn down, but that's what I like about coming to this place, is that the course is always changing. The obstacles are always changing. They're always adding something or taking something away. So you never really get bored coming here. I mean, I come here once or twice a week in the winter. Now this next incline right here, really steep, but where the front tires are right now, where the back tires are about to be, there's kind of a divot. Look at that save. Ooh, yeah. I tried as hard as I could. Unfortunately, I failed. One day I'll be able to make it up with this car, though, after, modifying it and everything. We're not making it up and over that right there, so I just placed the truck, the old hand of God trick, as they call it. Made it up the incline. Come on, come on. There we go. Super plush. When I don't have as smooth of an ESC, I try to do this where I wiggle the servo to try to get the car to just work itself down slowly. I just feel more in control when I do it like that. This part's really fun. I like the jail right there, the house. Just fun stuff to look at. It keeps it interesting. Got a nice little stick bridge. What do we want to call that? Little wooden bridge, something like that. Going into a nice little patch of rocks. Super fun to crawl on, even with the 10 scale. This thing really shined right here, though. The UTB18 is what this thing is called. The UTB means Unlimited Trail Buggy. I call this thing the URC because it's more of a unlimited rock crawler. I really don't see people trailing Capras too often. Usually people that get Capras, they build them for full-blown, rock crawling, stuff like that. Had to hit up the left entrance of the beginning of the course. This is something, even with 10 scales, a lot of struggle. It's just like a slippery kind of surface, My Gen 8 Red Cat that I had that was fully built, nothing else I could have done to it. Never made it up this. TRX4 Bronco made it up. My 10.3 Gladiator makes it up. Capra makes it up. But they all struggle. It looks easy, but as you can see, there's a bit of a struggle bus going on. This is really where, letting it kind of go back and then bumping it up like that, giving it some cheese, giving it some throttle can kind of help out. I love this bridge that they built here too. I mean, just look at this thing. It's a really simple obstacle, but it's so aesthetically pleasing. I don't know. I just love it. This obstacle right here is difficult. It looks easy, but trust me, it's not. With that right stick plank kind of going up, it will pitch the weight of the vehicle to the left. You have to make sure all 4 tires are perfectly on this obstacle. So here we got the 18th scale Capra on the 24th scale course. Gonna try to articulate over this. I feel like if I tried this again, I could possibly make it, but this is kind of a bigger vehicle than you should have on this course. So I didn't want to break anything of theirs. My own course, I would do that, and I have broken stuff on my own 24th scale course with this car already. I kind of backed up. I was like, oh, I need to bump up it, but this is crawling, baby. We got to crawl up it real slow. So as slow as I could, made it up pretty nice. I don't know, like, the angle of this. If I had to estimate, a little under 45. I love when people make little mud pits out of brown BBs with their crawler course. It's like, all right, let's do some mudding. Clean mudding. Diet mudding? Can we call it diet mudding? So yeah, this is the end of the video, guys. The 14th scale, 18th scale, whatever it is, Capra. I'm a huge fan. After just removing the spring purchase, this thing, night and day difference. I highly encourage you to make that change. It seems a little janky. It seems kind of ghetto, but trust me, you're going to love it. Really, really looking forward to the aftermarket support with these cars and seeing what people do with them.